Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. It really is my birth given name. Happy second recording on this Tuesday. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Guys, I'm currently driving, so I apologize in advance for any keys pinging, background noise, all that good stuff. I am that girl that has 1,000 jigglies on her key ring. So I'm just leaving one of my clients' home. I was having a conversation with one of my staff members. The individual who I said I gave like a third chance to, which is rare, but just in obedience. So if I'm honest, and I'm honored at the same time, that I always hear from my staff members, always, how much they admire me. All the time. So I was talking to her, and I was telling her that it's important for me to let her know, and it's important for individuals to understand that you can have that same kind of power. You can have that same kind of grace, that same kind of favor. It's all about alignment. It's all about alignment, first and foremost, a relationship with God, alignment, and then making sure you're walking in, again, your purpose, your calling. So, I figured I would come on and share something with you guys. Piggybacking off what I was conversing with her about. Again, it's not that God has favorites, right? It's because only a selected few will be obedient and who are willing to sacrifice. You have the same kind of whatever it is you see in somebody else, you can achieve that same thing. So one of the things she was telling me is that she don't know how in the world I do everything I do, between my business, between YouTube, between having 35,000 assignments that I'm called, and I'm never tired. That's what she said. She said, you're always upbeat. I don't understand how you do it. So I was telling her, well, here's what I've learned. Anything that God, all caps, God calls you to, He gives you grace to do it. Where we go wrong at, and where we get burnt out and tired and mind slipping, is when we are moving out of an alignment, meaning we are helping and doing things for people and for ourselves that we don't have the grace to do it. So if the grace is not on you to do it, then yes, it's going to wear you out. Yes, it's going to have your mind slipping. Yes, it's going to have you sick, broke down, and tired, and you have no energy because we're not in alignment. But if there's 100 things for you to do in one day, and they are all God-ordained assignments, you will naturally have the grace to do it, right? And that's not to say you won't be tired, but it's almost like a supernatural power. So others can see it in you, and they look at it like, how in the world do you do it all? And because it's not your own, It's not your own, I don't know, energy. I don't know. But I also shared with her, because she was telling me she was laughing. I had to get some things in order, right? I had to really get some things straightened, not with her, but with something else. And she was laughing. She was like, I watch you and you just tickle me, because it's like, you are the most loving, giving, big-hearted, but you can turn that thing off and be so firm and so cutthroat if needed. And then she asked me, how did I get that way? Meaning, she was saying that she was still working and developing her confidence, self-esteem, in order to be able to stand in her truth and be able to cut off unhealthy things, unhealthy people, etc. And my answer to her was, until you know who you are, until you know the power you possess, you will never be able to do it. When you don't know who you are, when your confidence is to the floor, when your self-esteem is to the floor, from bad relationships, bad marriages, from trauma, just life in general. When you don't know who you are, you will never, ever, ever be able to stand in your truth and to stand in your firmness. By cutting people off who do not honor you, who do not value you, who do not respect you, etc. So I was sharing with her, because again, I'm very transparent. I was sharing with her, I mean, I wasn't always that way. Don't get me wrong. Now, I've always been a chick who played no games when it comes to certain things, right? I don't play no games. But at the same time, I've allowed some things that I should not have allowed, where now it's completely different. Well, why is it completely different now? Well, because then, I mean, I had an idea of who I was and what I possessed, but then that was all fleshly sense, in the sense of things that I develop, or I. Well, now that I know who I am spiritually and within God, that's where your power is at. That's where your confidence is at. That's where your self-esteem is at. That's where nobody can intimidate you, because you're in your own lane. So where before, let's just use a relationship for example, where before, right, I might have heard a lie and knew it was a lie, but even sitting there and being told crazy different stories, and you know it's a lie and still let it pass, right? Or I should have walked away because of this, but I didn't. Where now, I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know I'm rare. And I know if you're connected to me, my grace will transfer to you. I'm the prize. Point blank, period. You're the prize. Point blank, period. But you will never, ever believe that until you tap into a certain place. And that place is your relationship with God, who will then teach you that you are everything. You don't chase, you attract. Period. But that mindset will never ever develop when we haven't healed, when we haven't developed a relationship with God. I'm not speaking about religion, I'm speaking about a relationship with God. And when we're not walking in the power that only comes from God, we will never ever be able to stand and make demands on what we deserve. You're in a very small group of people. And that group, that small group, will recognize each other. Always. So there is no rocket science. And I always say this, right? Because I want everybody to live and just know what they deserve. And as I tell her, and I'm always saying this because I'm real, it's not that I'm walking in confidence 24 hours a day. I don't, well, I was going to say I don't know what people see, but I guess it's just a light and grace. I don't know, favor, right? I'm still a woman. I still have my days. I don't feel beautiful 24 hours a day, right? But what I do know is, even in the day when I'm not feeling my best, ain't no other chick touching me. At least not in my mind. Meaning, I'm not comparing myself to anybody. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care what she had. I don't care, right? Because that's her lane. She can look, she can look like this. She can look like that. Can have a body like this and the whole 9 yards, right? but empty internally. So who really have the power? Because looks fade. Period. So I wanted to share this because, again, as I was speaking to her, she was very, very in tune to what I was saying. And I can tell she was receiving everything I was saying. So I wanted to share that because I really want people to understand that, right? So most of you I don't even know, but you have people in your lives that you may look at, you may admire, or you may see how they move. And you think like, oh, God has favors and they have this and you don't have that. And before you know it, you're comparing yourself. Nobody has nothing on you. You are enough if you're in your lane. Now, if you're swerving in somebody else's lane, you're going to always fail. You're going to always feel worthless because that's not your lane. Stay in your lane, regardless of who agree with it, regardless if you're criticized for it, regardless if the world don't understand it. You're chosen. You've never been understood. So why does it matter now? Stay in your lane. Perfect and polish that lane. Stay in that lane. The ones who don't understand it will respect it when you master it. As long as you are tapped in spiritually, obedience unlocks blessings. Yes, it's a process. God will not give you everything at once. He's going to give you a little bit. He's going to watch you. If you fail your test, he's going to take it back. And he may take more than what he gave you, so be very careful. But if he can trust you and see like, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit, and he sees, okay, I can trust you. You're going to do the right thing when I tell you to. Then I'm going to give you some more. Then he's going to watch you. Then he'll give you more. He'll watch you. And so on. And before you know it, you're at a level where people are admiring you. They're looking at you like, oh, you're God's favorite. Honey, if you want this pressure, come get it. Because it's going to crack your back like a lobster. So if you want the pressure, come get it. I always say people will stop being petty and stop being jealous of men, women, throwing shade, whatever, They will stop all of that if they ever sit down and have an authentic conversation with somebody who they deem to be X, Y, and Z. And when they hear everything that it takes in order to walk at certain levels, even the most lower levels, they'll change their mind. They'll be like, oh, never mind. You good. You can have that. You good. I don't want that because I ain't going through that nonsense, right? And that's not to discourage anybody, right? Because it's all worth it when you get there. But the point of the matter is, people assume that God has favorites and he just trusts this one the most and he loved this one the most because she look a certain way or because he talks a certain way. Child, it's all a lie. The answer is obedience. The answer is an alignment. The answer is a relationship with God. Sacrifice, all that stuff. Gratitude. Gratitude is huge. As many things that God has blessed me with, when I wake up, I thank God for the small things. I don't wake up and say, oh God, thank you for, no. Lord, thank you for another day. Thank you that I'm in my right mind because I know many people aren't in their right mind right now, right? Thank you for my family, my friend, my business, my this, my that, everybody that's attached to me and my destiny. Thank you for purpose. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for grace, for favor, for mercy. Not thank you for houses and cars and for what? That stuff can leave us tomorrow, literally. Thank you for a peace of mind. When you are grateful for the small things, God will give you more. It's almost like some people are crying about not having a house, right? They want a big 5-bedroom house. They want a mansion, but they're in an apartment and won't even clean the apartment. They won't even take care of these people's thing. They're putting grease down the sink, right? I used to do that. I thought that was the right thing to do. I thought you pour Dawn and shake up the grease, and it was okay to go down the sink. So I'm learning otherwise. I'm learning you're supposed to put it in trash bags and X, Y, and Z, honey. Okay. But they're not even taking care of people's stuff, and God is watching you do that. He's not going to bless you. Okay. God give you a job when many people can't find a job right now. And you walk off a job because whatever. And are you not even doing the right thing on the job? Like, why would he advance you? He's watching you. God watches details. I'll give you an example with Mr. Steve. Again, the download I got when I met Mr. Steve was, your assignment is he is not to freeze to death and he's not to starve to death. And I want you to speak life into him. Because that opportunity will give him that safe place, that quiet space to get back in alignment with me. Because if he's homeless, then it's almost like, well, you're going to drink, right? You don't even want to be in that condition anyway, right? Your conditions of just living outside. So you will keep drinking, you will keep smoking and all that stuff, because it's almost like I'm just trying to, get through the day. But if he's in a safe space, then that time will give him time to get back right with me, which I'm grateful because it worked. But God never told me where to put him. I could easily put him in some roach infested, mice infested, because I just knew he had to be warm. But because I also knew he had a very, very limited amount of time, from what the quote unquote doctor said, that, okay, I'm going to get him someplace decent, right? Because he doesn't have much time from what the doctors say. Well, Mr. Steve is still here, right? He's not doing well, but he's still here. And we're going on 3 months. When I met him, they said 90 days. We're going on 3 months. I'm sorry. When I met him, they had given him 90 days, 90 days prior to me meeting him. And now we're 3 months in. Every single time that I show up to pay for that room, if I'm calling a check on him, whatever. When I say grateful, sometimes I get annoyed because he like he overly thanks me. He overly lets me know he's grateful. When he get paid his little bit of money on his check, he's running me down to give me that money. Like, he is so grateful that I'm even helping him. Okay, so the point of this right here, well, in my mind, again, his time was very limited. So, all right, I'll put him in someplace decent because I don't have to keep him here long. Well, now I could easily say, well, you know what? Wait a minute now. You're living a little longer than I thought. Respectfully, I want you here, but you're living a little longer than I thought. So this is getting kind of costly. So let me go and throw you in some mice-infested, roach-infested motel that's probably going to charge me $20 a night. But because his gratitude of appreciating me 24 hours a day, it seems like he harassed my nerves. That gratitude alone makes me, and I will keep him, I will honor his wishes to keep him right where he is until God decides to call him home. Hospice trauma, he was traumatized in hospice, because hospice is a beautiful place, but for somebody who's still in their right mind, right, which Mr. Steve is, for somebody who's still alert and to see that all that morphine being pumped and seeing people dropping, respectfully, passing away every day, all day around the clock, even people that you may converse with and get to know just in the matter of days of being there, like, that can be very traumatizing for individuals who's still in their right mind. So he's literally traumatized by hospice. It's almost like that's why he decided to sleep in freezing 40 something degree weather, because he was too afraid to go in hospice. But because he is so grateful, because he take that little bit of money that he get right? He could easily take that money and say, well, I'm going to just go blow it on whatever. No. When he gets paid, he's calling me the night before. Hey, I get paid today. Come by here and get this money. I know it's not much, but I'm giving it to you. Take the whole card, right? He's grateful. So his gratitude is what makes me want to keep helping him. And I will, but it makes me want to. It doesn't feel like a burden because he's grateful. Most people you help are not grateful. They almost feel like you owe them something. So gratitude is also huge in that. You may not have everything you want. I don't have everything I want right now. But I'm grateful for what I do have. So I wanted to share that. This was a little longer than I thought, but hopefully someone needs it. So tap in. You guys have a great evening. It's your girl, Kizzy Ross.